Okay, welcome to the pod. You get just me today for a little quickie one. So we are diving headfirst into the end of the year. December 1st is tomorrow. So depending upon when you're listening to this, you might be right on time. It might have already passed. And it doesn't matter. What I'm going to talk about today is something that you can do any time of the year, and it will help you realign, reset, refocus, and get some shit done. So if you're just joining me for your first time ever on the pod, my name is Cassie. I'm the founder of The Full Routine. We are a Pilates studio based in beautiful, sunny Southern California. We also teach, we teach traditional reformer classes here. We also teach my signature class called Mat Make It Hot, which is super cool. 3 sections, a weighted arms routine, a Pilates mat routine, and a weighted leg routine, all sandwiched together in 50 minutes of heat-driven, music-pumping workout meant to make you feel super confident, sexy, strong, long, and lean. How about that for a little ad? So today you have me, just me, solo YOLO, because we are going to talk about my routine that I do at the end of the year to set myself up for success in choosing goals, themes, etc. that I want for the next year. So this is the quick and dirty download of how I do this. And I start now. So if you're watching this at the beginning of December, it's a perfect time to do this. If you're watching this at any other time or listening to this at any other time during the year, you want to give yourself a few weeks to go through this whole process. You don't have to do this for the new year. You can do this in July. You can do this in September. You can do this anytime that you need to reset and refocus and regroup. I just like to do it at the end of the year because I like to have some direction and or theme for the year coming up. So with that, this is what I do. The first thing I do is I sit down with a pen and paper and I open up my calendar or agenda or whatever I use during the year to track all the things that I have to do. So for me, I use Google Calendar. So I open it up, I go all the way back to January 1st, and I just start flipping through the weeks. And what I'm looking for are special events, different things on my calendar that I did during that month. Did I attend a workshop? Did I take a vacation? Did I have a therapy session with a new therapist? Did I go watch my daughter do X, Y, and Z? Just kind of like these stand out things or new habits or something that you created. Did you start working with a personal trainer in February? You would want to say like, started working with personal trainer. And I write down these key moments that I did during the year. What I'm looking for are things to remind myself of things that I did during the year that worked and or didn't work. So maybe I hired a personal trainer in February and I quit and gave up in March. You know, I write it down and then I will go back and I'll reflect on it. Why didn't it work? Did I choose the wrong person? Was it the wrong time? Was it too expensive? You know, whatever. And I just take a little inventory and remember that. Because chances are I might have forgotten it, especially if I'd only done it a few times, I would have forgotten it. Or I look for something like, you know, you accomplished X, Y, and Z, or you went, let me think of something. So say I went on a beach trip and I went snorkeling for the very first time and I had been afraid of snorkeling this whole time. And if I saw that reminder of like, oh, you went to Hawaii in April. First I would say like, wow, you were super cool. You went to Hawaii? But I would think back, okay, what happened on that trip? Oh yeah, I went snorkeling for the first time. Write that down. So all of these little triggers, by just going through and looking at your calendar, you want to write all these things down to remind yourself of where you've been, where you've gone, what you did, who you did it with, all that good stuff, okay? So from there, it probably takes me a half an hour to do that, unless you're super busy and you're writing a bunch of stuff down. And then I take like a week and I go through and I do that kind of inventory. Like, why did this work? Why didn't this work? How did that make me feel? Oh, wow, that was super cool. I totally forgot that I did that. And I just spend some time looking at each of the things and writing down different reflections, or maybe, starring something that I started and I never finished it, but I definitely want to finish it in the coming year. And just taking some time to reflect on that. And so you could literally do that over the course of a couple hours on one day. But I like to look at it, think about it, mull it over, whatever. And then I go through and I look at that and I start looking for reoccurring themes. So maybe, I look at that list and go, gosh, I only took one holiday and it was only a 3-day weekend. That wasn't enough for me this next year, or I needed more. And so I want more next year. And so I'll take these kind of themes, or, I started a new habit and it's totally working for me. And I wonder what the next level of that is. And so I'll start to write down these themes of things that I want to carry over or build upon. And then I'll also look and I'll say, oh gosh, I went and did X, Y, and Z 27 times last year and it wasn't actually that fun. And it was really expensive. I could have saved that money. So that's actually a habit I'm gonna drop. I'm not deriving that much benefit out of it. And so I'll write that down as well. So let's use those 3 things as an example. So I get that list and I'll say, gosh, I spent too much money doing this. And I write that down, stop doing that. And then I'll say, I only took a 3-day holiday in 2023. I actually want to travel more. So I'll write that down, travel more in 2024. And then the other one was like, hey, I started doing Pilates and I really saw a difference in how my body felt and how I carried myself through the day. I wonder what the next level to that is. I'm actually kind of inspired by it. I want to understand it a little bit more. So I'll write those 3 things down that I've taken from the inventory that I took of the year before. And then when I look at those things, I'm like, gosh, I want to travel more. It costs money. And I know that last year I spent all this money doing this. I can see now, I can take the money from that and I can put it towards travel. And then, the Pilates thing, I'm like, wow, I really liked it. And I got a lot of benefit out of it. And I actually am kind of curious as to what the next level is. Maybe I'm going to take a workshop, or maybe I'm going to become an instructor, or maybe I'm going to try a different kind of Pilates. Well, that costs extra money. So I can see where the tie, a thread, or a Taylor Swift reference, an invisible string, ties through those 3 particular themes. So I'll spend, another 3, 4, 5 days kind of looking through that list. I did my calendar and made the list of all the things that I did, and then I pulled out things that I liked and things that I didn't like. I'll spend another 3 or 4 days looking at that and saying, okay, I can see these common themes, or I can see how 3 of these things all link together. So I might have had 3 goals, but I can see how they all link together. Actually, it just boils down to one goal, and it might be budgeting money from that one thing I'm not going to do anymore to travel and maybe buying some Pilates workshops or something. And I start to find how I can clump those things together into 2 or 3 major themes, okay? So taking that same list again, I can say, well, it was financial, it was travel, and it was some type of wellness, the Pilates thing, education, and or doubling down on something that I was doing that was helping me feel better. So I take those 3 things, and now I can see, there's one's financial, one is travel, and one that's wellness. And I can look at those now and I can start to come up with a theme for the year, or a word for the year. And so if I was looking at those 3 things, wellness, or something that's educational, travel, and then the financial aspect to weave through it. So maybe I come up with a word or a theme where it's, some people want to travel because it expands their horizons. It's exciting, or they like adventure. So let's call it adventure. So adventure and curiosity, right? Curiosity with the Pilates thing, adventure through travel. So every time I go to spend money in 2024, because I got to have the money to pay for adventure and curiosity. Every time I go to spend money in 2024, I ask myself, is this money that I'm spending taking away from adventure and curiosity, or is it adding to adventure and curiosity? And then you start to see how, like, I've kind of narrowed down, like, I don't love resolutions, but I've narrowed down to like this theme or this mantra or, you know, overall feeling that you want to have in the year. And you wouldn't be able to get to that if you didn't do all that other inventory. So this is my quick and dirty routine, if you will, my full routine that I do at the end of the year to decide what my goals or mantra or vision, visual manifestation, whatever you want to call it, is going to be for the next coming year. And like I said, you don't have to wait for New Year to do this. You can do this every month if you wanted to. I do a form of it every month on the full moon. So there you go. You can do it every month. You can do it every 6 months. You can do it on your birthday. You can do it on a Tuesday. I don't care. But just do it. Why? Because if you just flip over the page on the new calendar and you don't change anything in your routine from year to year, you kind of just end up being the same person without any growth, forward momentum, forward movement. You kind of just start to settle for what it's always been, which can be kind of boring, and isn't changing your world at all. And that you may not want that, and that's okay. But I think if you're listening to this, you probably do want a little bit of that. So that's my encouragement for getting ready for the new year, to go through and take the little calendar inventory. I think it's a really fun exercise. I always find like things, I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot I did that. I forgot I saw that person. Or it triggers like, I went out to lunch and I haven't talked to them since. I'm gonna give her a call. So things like that. Anyways, that is the pod for the day. That's my end of the year full routine to set myself up for success in the new year. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, per usual, reach out to me on social at Smarty Cassie or the full routine. And I hope you have a great December or whatever time of the year you are listening or watching this. And I will talk to you on the next one. Peace out.